Welcome to Soul Infused a Monday. I'm super excited that you're here, and as this is a live show and sometimes it takes a few moments for people to jump in, if you're watching the replay at this moment, leave a comment below and say hello. Say hello that you're watching the replay, hit the like and love button, and let me know if you're here and see me clearly if you are live. So welcome to Soul Infused Monday. I am your host, Sonia Bueno de la Torre, and as an energy healer, I believe that knowing about your energy and learning how to manage your energy will make all the difference in your life. And today it's all about staying calm in the midst of fear and chaos. And I am super excited to give you some tips and also share a little bit of what's really important, or what are the two main components in order for you to stay calm in whichever situation, actually. It doesn't mean that we always, have to be perfect or anything. But I want to take a moment to see who's in here. So if you're here already, let me know that you're here. Hi, Tina. Hi, Lynn. And click the love and like button so I know you're hearing me loud and clear. Okay, so today's topic, how to stay calm in the midst of fear and chaos. Last week, I was in one of my meditations, I was tuning in, and I kind of felt like really the matrix of the whole world, and there was like just a lot of anxiety at the moment. And it makes sense, obviously. I mean, that makes always sense. Fear is part of our experience in the world and as a human being. However, there is a level of anxiety that is out of proportion, that is very damaging to our well-being, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. So I was tuning into that. And I thought, yeah, it makes total sense, with what's going on out there. And I was going grocery shopping last week on that the same day. And I'm currently here in the Dominican Republic. And a man asked me, he's like, do you speak Spanish? And I said, yeah, I do. And he asked me, hey, he heard that the coronavirus might be here, if I believe that to be true or not, right? And then that was interesting, and he was really anxious, and he was really scared about it, and he was bringing this all up, and it was kind of like I heard it somewhere there. And the first moment it was like, oh, I was getting anxious, and I was like, what is the virus here? And so I was aware of it, took a breath, and I was just tuning into him, and he was just very scared. And I told him honestly, I do not think so, and I always don't really know. I cannot know if what's going on in a whole country. My point in sharing this with you is, of course, it's normal that we're anxious with things that are going on in the world and fearful things like a virus or an epidemic or crime or environmental issues. So it's part of our human experience. So, and it's no point in denying that's not there either. However, there is really a way to stay calm and to not be sucked into that, so that we all just walk around like panic inside, because it's so easy. It's so easy to get sucked into that fear or anxiety of the whole world. And before I go even into any of what to do about it, can you relate to that? Do you feel similar right now? Do you feel like there is anxiety? Can you relate to that? Are you maybe even hearing some of the things about a virus or whatever? It doesn't really matter. And do you feel yourself getting anxious sometimes about that and worrying about that? So share with me what's going on in your life, because then I also can adapt the show more to you and give you even more personalized feedback for your own situation. So this is a great opportunity for you also on these Monday shows to get your questions asked and personal feedback from me to you. Let me go back first from an energetical perspective, why that makes sense and why it's important to be aware of it. Why is it actually even important to be aware of this? From an energetical perspective, you're like an antenna. You receive energy constantly, you send out energy constantly. If you're not aware of your own energy, and if you don't know how to manage your energy, it's very easy to just adapt and get sucked into all of that collective fear, panic, and anxiety, and not that easy to differentiate. Okay, is this mine, or is the intensity actually even mine or not? And how can I stay calm and clear and present so that I can make conscious choices and not just out of panic or fear. Does that make sense? So if this makes sense, if this is resonating with you, just click the love button real quick, because I can see that right away and it's beautiful on my screen. When you hit the love button, I get little hearts, and so that's how you can communicate with me too. Gail is here. Hi. Andrew, hello. Linda, hello, hello. So, and I know that's always it's not the lightest topic, but we'll bring lightness into it. And at the same time, I do like to talk about the things that people are really struggling with. Like, these are daily things that just, and we got to talk about them. Like, as everything that we put out in the open, we can transform and we can bring release and awareness into that. Okay? Okay, I just got quite some loves right now, so I know it's resonating. 1 second. So, and even though that might sound all doom and gloom, and that's good news. There's very good news. You can learn how to stay calm. You can learn how to handle your energy. You can create real joy and freedom, liberation and fun and light and love in this world, because it's a beautiful world. And the first thing is that you want to be aware of it. You want to acknowledge it. You don't want to pretend it's not there, because then it works unconsciously in the background and you are actually not even in control of that. So in a way, it's not a bad thing to look at it. It's a good thing. The one thing that you don't want to be is to be caught up in it and sucked into it. And so the number one thing is to really be aware of it. When you are aware of it, you can do something about it. So next time you are somewhere, or you watch the news that I'm gonna get into in just a second, and you feel yourself getting anxious, and you notice that you can have that physical symptoms for you to know that you are actually in an anxiety mode. Like, number one is that your breathing gets more shallow. You don't breathe deeply when you are in an anxious space or state. So I invite you right now, right here, to take 3 deep breaths. Right here, right now, no matter what you're doing. And I recommend anyway that you remove any distractions and you don't do like 5 things at the same time, because when we are not present, we are also not able to really stay calm within, because our energy is like all over the place. So take a moment to really become present. Take 3 nice deep breaths and relax your body. Anxiety, first thing that we stop breathing. Often we are tense or anxious, often around our chest or solar plexus, shoulder, neck, your base is collapsed. So just pay attention to those things. You can like relax those areas, take a deep breath. That alone will help, even though there are underlying issues that you might want to address and have to address. But that's a really good way to first acknowledge, oh my God, I'm in an anxious state, so now I'm aware of it, now I can actually do something about it. Okay, does that make sense? Let me see here. I am purposely trying to stay high vibe as folks around me are not. Yes, not calm. Yes, yeah. Great, and well, good that you're here. That's what we're doing. And I just felt like you guys are actually taking a breath, because I can feel the energy shifting in the group. So just take another deep breath. Yeah, it's such a great learn to stay calm no matter what's going on, the craziness out there. And the craziness, also our craziness. It's not about, oh, those people are crazy and I gotta stay calm. Like, we are all the same. However, you are responsible for your own state of being, and you can only be responsible for your own state of being, or you can do something about your own state of being. Otherwise, you stay a victim of what's happening outside. So it's not so much about what's happening to you, it's what's happening for you and what you do about it, right? Another breath. So breath is number one, acknowledging, like being aware of it. And then secondly, if you want to stay consistently calm, if that's something that you aspire in your life, that you stay calm in the midst of chaos and fear, and that could also be just in the midst of, maybe you're a mom and you have children and you know how chaotic that can be, or you have a high demanding job, a lot of employees, like it doesn't really matter what the chaos of fears around you, but if you have the desire to have a consistent calmness within, You gotta do something consistently every day to nurture and work through that. It's the same that if you wanna have clean teeth every day, you brush your teeth every day, correct? Yeah, right? So why would someone think, oh, if I wanna have a transformation inside where I feel calm every day, I don't get to do something about that. So yeah, you brush your teeth every day to have clean, fresh, beautiful teeth. If you want to have this beautiful, calm space within yourself every day, you got to do something for it every day. Easy, right? It's like, so it's a logic. So there are a few things that you can do right away. Ultimately, you got to do the work. You got to peel off the layers that are really keeping you from being mainly connected to yourself, being connected to your soul, being able to really go beyond the blocks and beliefs and overrated, like the over-intensified anxiety. So that's gonna take longer. You got to do work with that. And at the same time, you can do a few things. And I'm going to give you a few tips right now. And I gave you already some tips, but I'm going to give you 3 tips. And I invite you to stay open to the tips. Maybe one of the tips resonate with you and you think, great. Maybe one tip said, no, Sonia, I don't want to do that. Or that's, whatever your experience is with that. This is just, I give you like a platter of a buffet and you can pick and choose. So my number one tip, to be less affected by the fear and chaos in the world is to not watch the news. And every time I say that, I get all sorts of different responses, right? I have to watch the news or this, and it's like, and just hold on there for a minute before we go further, or you reject the idea, or you embrace the idea. And it's not about not staying informed or wanting to know what's out in the world. However, I know that a lot of people in the world, the first thing in the morning is they watch the news. So the tone that you set for the day is already fear, anxiety, stress, negativity. Okay? So if you choose to watch the news because it's important for you, for whatever reason that's important to you, never do that in the morning. Because the morning is the time when you set the tone for the rest of the day. And if you want to stay calm, you want to do something that calms your system versus making it even more anxious. Okay? Does it make sense? I'm curious. Like, do you watch the news? Do you don't watch the news? Do you watch them in the morning? How does it do for you? Just pay attention. Don't watch the news, or it's also not necessary to watch the news several times a day. It's okay if you do that once a day. Choose once, and let me tell you something. If there's something you really need to know, you will find out. You're not going to miss out on a tragedy in the world that will all make all the difference that if you miss it out. And one thing when people say, hey, I want to stay informed, fair enough, you can also read about it. Watching it and listening to it affects our energy system a lot in a negative way, in many ways. Also, a lot of the news share terrible things, so to say, and it looks like everything is terrible because they only showcase the bad stuff. Even though there's so much incredible, beautiful things in the world and incredible people who do incredible, wonderful, beautiful things, but we don't see those on the news. So it creates an image of, oh, the world is such that bad place. And it's not. It has that too, but it's not only. So that's one of the reasons why it's really not that healthy for your system. Also, a lot of the news don't really make sense for you to know, because if you, for example, watch the news and you see a house burned down and people are homeless, unless you go there and help them, or unless you really do something to help a particular person, there is no benefit for each side to know that. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So, and you take it or leave it. But I tell you one thing, if you reduce or stop watching the news, it will make a huge difference in your life. And it does not mean that you should shut down your eyes and you pretend the world is not happening. But it's more a conscious choice on how you are gonna receive that information. All right. That was one. The other one is, obviously, if you've been following me, is meditation, is breathing. is having a constant morning routine where you actually set the tone for the day. Again, like instead of starting the day with negativity and fear, you start the day by taking quality time for yourself. You take time to breathe. You take time to connect with yourself. You take time to really set the tone for what you want it to be. You take the time to energize yourself. You take the time to center yourself, to shift your energy, to connect and be present. Because in a connected, centered, present state, you will be able to deal with what's coming from outside in a way more calm state. Okay? So that is super, super crucial as well. And then remind yourself that energy follows attention. Okay? That's one of the energy rules, basic rules. Energy follows attention. So then you have a conscious choice to see, okay, am I going to focus on what's happening here that's crazy, bad, fearful, and or what's actually something else that I'm grateful for in my life, that is working in my life, that is beautiful in my life, that I can maybe help someone in real life, versus feeling bad about people that I cannot even do something about. And it's good to have compassion. And at the same time, hey, maybe there's something in your life where you can actually really do something and you contribute to something and to make the world a better place. So definitely my recommendation is stop watching the news, or less, or more mindful. More mindful in a sense of when and how am I letting that information into my system. And then number two, a regular daily routine of taking time for yourself in the morning, meditation, breathing, really awareness, quality time, to set the intention for the day and to shift your energy to that place that you want to, the energy being that you want to be in that day. And then thirdly, also to really remind you, make a conscious choice to focus on what you want and not focus on what you don't want. Okay, so let me know if this is resonating, if this is helpful. And I would like to know from you, out of all the things that I said today, what is the most valuable? Like, what's the takeaway that you're getting out of this? Like, what's your takeaway from your own perspective, from your own life? What's the biggest takeaway from the show today about how to stay calm, no matter what's going on outside? While I take a sip of water, you think about that for a moment, you tune in. And leave a comment below. Here, also if you're on the replay, leave a comment below. And if you do, for example, feel, hey, this is great, Sonia, and I want to meditate more, but I struggle, like there's so many simple ways to get started. You can really I think you're the most simple and the most powerful exercise that you can do anytime, anywhere. You don't need to know anything about it. You just got to do it. Is to stop, pause, take 3 breaths, like really 3 deep breaths, and relax your body. And then you can repeat. Like, this can make all the difference. This is like a super power tool, even though it's so simple. You have it, you can use it anytime. 3 deep breaths. Centering yourself, going in, and then you deal. Stop, pause, and breathe. Stop, pause, and breathe. Yeah, if your life is, if you're easily affected by fear and anxiety and the surroundings, and you're feeling a lot of anxiety, then of course, please go and do the deeper inner work. Make those changes so that it can stay consistent, like brushing your teeth, right? And every day, take a moment. It's like, hey, what am I grateful for? Like, where do I want to put my energy? Energy follows attention. What you focus on, you get more of. All right, let me see what you're saying. Limit media consumption, stay strong on my daily practice. Yes, Len, those 2 things are super crucial. And I like how you just worded it, limit, I'm not saying you gotta cut it off completely. I'm just giving you suggestions, and it's like, but just even limiting it will make a huge difference. Also, what time of the day and when you are consuming that information will make a huge difference. So that mindfulness, this is a great takeaway. And also to stay strong on your daily practice. Yes, 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 and yes. And anyone today, or if you are watching this right now, and you haven't taken time for yourself today yet, you haven't taken time to breathe or meditate or do something for your own well-being, do it right now after this show, even if it's 5 minutes. Don't just stop it, go away, and kids like, take it. Today is a fresh day. It's a Monday, fresh start to the week. So I highly recommend you to do that. If you have any other questions or comments, please leave a comment below. And if you're on the replay, leave a comment. What's your biggest takeaway from this show today? What's landing for you that you can take with you to help you to stay more calm in the midst of fear, chaos, and people freaking out around you? And you might be freaking out. I had a moment, that, the story that I told, the story there, no, the story in the past. The story I told you last week at the grocery store, yeah? There was a moment that I was getting all freaked out. I was like, oh my God, what if this virus is here? Like, I got sucked in for a moment, right? And if I wouldn't have had the awareness and everything that I just shared with you. So it's okay to freak out for a moment. It's okay to be scared. We are human beings. That's what we feel. It's how much it's going to affect us, and are we going to stay in it, or are we able to come back to the present? It's like, okay, we stay calm, and then I can act from that state of being versus running around like a headless chicken. Okay, so I hope this was valuable for you. I love you guys. And oops, I totally forgot. Next Monday, I have special guests on my show. 2 guests, Jenny and Mark Futuman. They are amazing people. They have been on my journey and masterminds and business life for a couple of years. And they are help really creative, wonderful people to bring out their gifts and beauty in the world. And it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited that they're joining me. So next Monday, set a timer, alarm, calendar, whatever you want to do. You don't want to miss that show at 12 p.m. Eastern Time next Monday. Come up here live because I'm going to have special guests. Okay, my dear, I wish you a fantastic rest of your day. Stay uplifted, stay connected. May this day bring the blessings, love, and light that you deserve. Much love.